I'm going to try to just use this mic. Can everybody hear me okay? Is that good? Lift it up? I don't want to do the feedback thing. Freaky. Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm going to mostly read here because I tend to talk too long, so I want to make sure I stay in my time limit here. And Greg, thank you for that lovely introduction. As he said, for those of you who don't know me, good, thank you. I'm Elizabeth Horn, Executive Director of 2M Foundation. We're a California nonprofit focused on digital health. Most importantly, and the reason I'm here, is that I'm a mom to a 24-year-old daughter diagnosed at 2 with autism spectrum disorder. I want to thank Allison for bringing me to this lovely space in San Francisco, which I rarely get to. I mainly stay nested in Hillsborough, and for inviting me to speak here today about what I feel is an extraordinary journey that we all happen to be on together. And it's a journey that's going to lead to a myriad of solutions, finally, for one of the most complex chronic conditions of our lifetime. Okay, now I get to do the slide thing here. This is one of my favorite quotes from Vinod Khosla, but I absolutely and utterly believe it. Why do I believe it? Before my daughter was diagnosed as a marketing director in Silicon Valley, I was fortunate to see firsthand how a group of passionate people with a vision can use technology to change the way we work, learn, and live. I will never forget and often recount the palpable energy when I met with the Macintosh team on the eve of their first launch, or when I participated in Paul Allen's think tank on uses for the World Wide Web. Yep. This was before Amazon came on, and I remember talking about this guy, Jeff Bezos, who was going to sell books on the web. I was there in that room. The pundits and I agree that we are at the beginning of another sweeping transformation, this time at the intersection of biology and IT, where the change could mean the difference between being sick and getting and staying well. In 2014, as Greg alluded to, with the rise of direct-to-consumer testing with 23andMe, big data and cloud computing, increasingly accurate and usable sensors and wearables, and in the context of the climbing rates of chronic diseases, including autism, 5 of my now closest friends and I decided it was time to do something radical. So Linda Avey, co-founder of Precisely and former co-founder of 23andMe, Dr. Martha Herbert, she's Harvard Mass General pediatric neuro-autism expert, Dr. Andy Kogelnick, an MD, PhD, who is an Emory bioinformatics guy, specializing in complex chronic diseases, Dr. Alan Rappaport, another MD, PhD, serial entrepreneur, who founded the first AI company in Silicon Valley, then went on to found MedStory, which he sold to Microsoft, and it became the foundation for the Health Vault project. And Pramila Srinivasan, co-founder of Patient Portal Charm Tracker and EHR Charm Health. We now have 2 million people on those platforms. And I decided that the timing was right to form Compass, a patient-led, multidisciplinary network committed to finding answers for autism. Over the past 6 years, Compass has grown to include over 500 scientists, clinicians, investors, therapists, teachers, advocates, and patients, forming partnerships, hosting conferences and workshops in Silicon Valley at our new conference space, Black Mountain Lodge in Hillsborough. And this is it. Compass believes in team science, with a team that includes patients and their families. So we're all for open science, patient-owned data, and true collaboration. As our members and partners work collaboratively to create a data-driven path to better defining the autism spectrum, a critical step in aligning our children with something that everyone calls the precision health movement. The precision health approach is participatory and predictive, and embraces our brand of citizen science. We resolved to move beyond our silos, to build one collaborative ecosystem, helping unify and motivate the heterogeneous autism landscape to adopt and advocate for systemic change. Through the implementation of emerging technology at this intersection of biology and data science, We expect to see an expansion of our limited understanding of autism, an expansion that will create unparalleled opportunity. I love this slide. As everyone here has talked about, autism is not one size fits all. There are so many different kinds of autism and possible comorbidities, but each person with this disorder generates streams of data that can help us as parents and caregivers, teachers, clinicians, and researchers to better understand, treat, and manage this complicated condition individually. We just need tools to capture these data streams that show us things like how my child slept last night, or if my child slept last night, if my daughter's period is due, when my child had a seizure, how many times today my child was aggressive, what my child's cortisol level is today, and if my child is missing important gut microbes. So many data points that can be gathered, analyzed, and sent as alerts to our phones, as graphs to our laptops, reports to our clinicians, information that we can use to make our kids' lives better today, not 10 years from now, and help entrepreneurs in this space design products and services to precise specs for all the individuals with autism, no matter what their level of functioning. But how do we realize such a bold vision? According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and to Allison, about 1 in every 59 children in the U.S. is diagnosed with autism, up from 1 in every 150 in 2000. They report that about 500,000 people on the autism spectrum will become adults over the next decade, a swelling tide for which the country is unprepared. Currently in the U.S., through nonprofit grants and government support, we spend at least $350 million annually trying to understand autism and support families. Private industry has stepped up with major investments in the digital health space as well as acquisitions, primarily in a host of ABA companies recently. But autism still has a fragmented, limited, and often redundant investment landscape and no dedicated venture fund. At our fall 2018 Compass Working Group, we addressed one specific question inspired by this Wall Street Journal op-ed written by one of our members. The question we examined was, can we create a new investment model for autism? We came away from that meeting with a draft for a new way to invest in the autism landscape, the Autism Impact Fund. The Autism Impact Fund will be the only venture philanthropy fund focused on autism. We are currently seeking 2 general partners, though I think I found one at the middle table. And we have strict selection criteria. One partner must have a depth of knowledge and experience in life sciences, the other an equally strong background in tech. Both must have an affected family member. The fund's organizing team consists of individuals with well-developed networks, access to capital, deep domain expertise in autism, startups, accelerators, and marketing. And we each have a child with autism. We will be raising $100 million for the first fund. The fund will develop a portfolio of investments covering different approaches, different scientific theories in the areas of biology, education, and lifespan. We will be looking for innovative ideas that can be seeded, existing companies in the space that need acceleration, and dedicated researchers with breakthrough hypotheses that need support. Amen. I love Eric Topol. Eric Topol led the charge in terms of digital health and continues to do so. So what kinds of research, what kinds of deals are we looking for? Okay, and we've gotten lots of examples from both Tom and Allison, but some of the ones that I was thinking of, some of these are real, some of these are not real yet, but will be soon. Certainly research in the precision autism space to supplement the extraordinary work already done in genomics. Work delivering a closer examination of epigenetic, environmental influencers, the things we can change today if we are aware of them, and the role they play in every aspect of managing the lives of our children. Efforts like Jim Adams' work at University of Arizona with microbial transplant therapy, who'd have thought, right? That showed a sustained 50% reduction in autism symptoms after 2 years after the transplantation of good bacteria in the microbiomes of kids who didn't have it. Devices, apps, and analytics, love these for quantifying food intake. This would be so cool. Don't exist quite yet. And tracking dietary influencers and their metabolic effects. There's a new startup that I'm aware of called January that's doing some really cool stuff in this space, but they haven't announced yet. Things like usable wearables. We've tried so many wearables in our quantified classroom in Hillsborough. Most of them don't end up not working, but they will work. Usable wearables for kids that can track and report on something like HRV levels to help determine vagal tone and emotional state in our kids who can't communicate effectively how they're feeling. Software platforms, integrated EHRs with innovative multiple app patient portals that help develop an improved standard of care, lifetime care for ASD patients. Health dashboards that provide an easy-to-understand view of all the data streams we can capture on our kids' health, like this one, Yuhan Sonin at MIT GoInvo. This is his health picture, which would be so cool to have. Doesn't exist yet. New imaging tools to look more closely at gut and brain, like the Trust Neuroimaging company, which provides advanced 3D imaging and analysis of brain data for a holographic view of network interactions. It's very cool. Companies like Florio that use mobile VR technology to deliver coach-guided lessons, individualized curriculum, companies that can design lessons for learners with motor issues who use letterboards or keyboards to communicate and do their work. New residential models that create smart villages for people with autism and other issues that make living challenging, like First Place in Phoenix, Arizona, that Denise Resnick has done such a wonderful job on. The landscape we have been set upon, all of us, is vast, as we all know. At each level, there's so much work to be done. We are here, you are here, in this space of risk to move forward, but a bigger one to stay in the same place. So if we trust history, we know that technology is a game changer. The new view from the peak, place we're all headed, will let us see where we are, where each of our children is. And now technology offers us that view beginning at a molecular level for the first time. These insights will show us how to stay healthy and how to get well. We will see how we relate to others biologically, how our children relate to others with autism. We will see how they create subgroups. Technology in this new era of medicine longitudinally engages with humans to enable us to know ourselves for the first time. And that will make all the difference. Oh, I went over. Damn. Anybody have any questions?